What, you mean a string of nonsensical emojis? Fire, sword, donut, spaceman, clock, dancing lady, flashlight, thumbs up. How am I supposed to know what that means?
I ignited the flaming sword, used it to cut a hole in space and time. Mum's light flooded through it, then it closed up behind her. All good.
Oswald, my friend!
Bruce Wayne, what a lovely surprise. You certainly are getting out quite a lot these days, aren't you?
The way I see it, everyone else in this town is having fun. Why shouldn't I?
I agree. You and your insanely large bank account are more than welcome here.
We're gonna need your shrink ray, Ray.
I'm not particularly fond of that name.
That was the fast version.
It was. Hi, everyone. Welcome to episode 126B of the Fandom Zone.
Part 2. So, yes. So, if you listen to 126A, we talked about the two-part Gifted season finale. And then we talked about Supergirl and The Flash. So here in part 2, we are going to talk about the series premiere of Black Lightning.
Yay.
Episode 1 of season 1. And then we're going to talk about Arrow, episode 10 of the 6th season. And then we're going to wrap things up with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., episode 8 of the 5th season.
Yay.
So
let's dive right into Black Lightning, yeah?
Please do. So, yes. Episode 1 of Black Lightning, season 1.
The Resurrection.
The Resurrection. And this was written and directed by Salim Akil.
Awesome.
Who is the showrunner on Black Lightning and executive producer. And holy crap, what a good job he did this time.
Oh my God, right?
Yeah, so if you're now we left off part 1 kind of disappointed by The Flash this week.
Yes, kind of disappointed.
All right, a lot disappointed by the trial of The Flash.
Very disappointed.
So I was kind of bummed. And then Black Lightning came on.
Yeah.
And Black Lightning in the first 5 minutes, did more for CW superhero shows, DC superhero shows, than The Flash did in an entire 60 minutes.
Yes.
Am I wrong in saying? Am I wrong in saying?
Saved last week.
Those first 5 minutes were killer.
Yeah. Yeah. Black Lightning is probably the best show from last week. For me, at least. I think.
Yeah, I don't think we're doing spoilers here. So, now for those who haven't watched the show, because it's a new show, maybe you haven't checked it out yet. It's not your typical CW DC superhero show.
Mm-mm.
Even though it is produced by the Berlanti, I believe.
I think so.
But it's kind of off in its own little pocket universe.
Mm-hmm.
So far, at least. Now, maybe
there's not going to be a crossover.
Well, maybe there'll be a crisis. Maybe there'll be a crisis at some point.
Maybe. I doubt he's going to be teaming up with them anytime soon. It just seems like a totally different universe.
But right now, the way this universe is being presented is a much more grounded, like something along the lines of Luke Cage.
Mm-hmm.
If like something a little like if you're wishing that the CW superhero shows would be more like the Netflix Marvel superhero shows.
Yeah.
You should watch Black Lightning.
Now, the one thing I thought, and I was doing that Luke Cage comparison, but I was thinking Luke Cage is kind of that cartoony version of that Harlem-esque sort of feel.
Okay.
And I think Black Lightning is a more real-to-life version of it.
Okay.
Like, this could really happen.
Yeah.
It felt like to me. And Luke Cage was something that was kind of, okay, but I don't think that could really happen. Yeah, you know what I mean?
So, well, like we see things, we see characters using marijuana on the show.
Mm-hmm.
The marijuana.
I know, gang members.
Like we're actually confronting gang urban violence,
Mhm.
and not like on the Arrow kind of gang urban
No,
violence.
no.
Not even close.
Like real, like gang bangers.
Like actual, like
kids.
Kids, people dying, and
Right.
Consequences.
Right.
And that's what kind of is setting the show apart, is that violence has consequences on this show.
Mm-hmm.
I've watched the second episode, thought it was great as well.
Mm-hmm.
But so yeah, it's a much more grounded show.
Yeah, I agree.
And okay, you've got a guy going around in a big electric suit, but
hey,
it's
a superhero.
It's a superhero. Basically, it's a superhero, like a superhero with like these fantastic powers dropped into the middle of a much more realistic setting.
Right.
And what would happen then?
Mm-hmm. And that's kind of how I feel about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. You hit the nail on the head.
Thank you.
And now you have ruined my A story.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Which is?
Go ahead.
Keeping it real.
Sorry about that.
No, it's all right. I also mean they're keeping it canon.
Okay.
Which I love. The fact that he's an Olympian. His powers are correct.
Right.
He can manipulate electricity.
Faithful.
And yeah, I love that when they mentioned he was an Olympian, I was like, oh, really? Are they sticking to canon? Because that's amazing.
Yeah.
And then my B story is beset on all sides. I'm kind of quoting,
right.
Pulp Fiction here. But what I mean is, the good guys and the bad guys all seem to be bad guys in this show.
Right.
The cops and the gangs. And then like father, like daughter, which looks like is what's happening at the end of this episode.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to talk about that. Now go back to keeping it real, because
before you go on, remember I said like father, like daughter in the Gifted thing. So I'm just bringing it around. It's
I see what you
callback.
Oh, okay, very clever.
It's a theme.
Themes. We can't have themes on this show. Come on.
Yeah.
I know.
So anyway, yeah, it looks like she's getting her dad's powers.
Yeah, exactly. Kind of like father, like daughter, like Magneto and Polaris. I see what you did.
Right.
All right.
See? Okay, go ahead.
Okay. So I just wanted you brought up the point that they're being very faithful to the to the source material.
Mm-hmm.
So I know Black Lightning is a character that's been around DC Comics since the 70s.
Long time, yeah.
Long time. Hasn't really, apart from Sinbad playing him in a comedy sketch on Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
In a Death of Superman parody sketch.
Yeah.
Hasn't had any adaptations.
Mm-mm.
He's one of DC's biggest, if not the biggest, black superhero.
Right.
And so finally he's brought to live action, and thankfully they actually seem to be adapting the source material well. He has his ex-wife Lynn Stewart.
Mm-hmm.
He has his daughters Anissa and Jennifer.
Mm-hmm.
Those are their names in the comics.
Right.
And Anissa, as we find out at the end of this episode, is getting superpowers, just like she does in the comics.
Right.
So, and we've already seen her costume because she becomes the superheroine Thunder.
Right. And everything about this show is resonating with me.
Right.
I just really loved it. And
his main bad guy is Tobias Whale, who's here.
Right.
Right.
And I also meant keeping it real as in it felt real.
Right.
Because these things are happening today. It feels like he's going to bat against the Me Too movement, and he's helping the Me Too movement. He's helping the Black Lives Matter movement. He's a principal of a high school,
right.
And he's going to bat for the little guy. He's getting pulled over by cops because he's black.
Yeah.
These are things that are happening right now, and it doesn't seem like they're being super preachy with it.
No,
but they're definitely addressing it, and it really grounds the series. Yeah. And it makes you feel like, I don't know. For me, it was like, is there hope really?
Well, what I like about it is that it's the first superhero show that, at least on network television, that is actually like confronting these tough issues.
Mm-hmm.
And like maybe like, okay, they're not coming up with the easy answer that gets solved in 60 minutes.
No, in fact, he does something really bad.
Yes.
In the first hour, and probably makes it worse.
Yeah. Well, there was that the reaction to his actions in the first episode that kind of have consequences, like I talked about,
Right.
in the second episode.
Right. So he's not the superhero that never does wrong.
Right. It's not like everything is all not wrapped up in a nice little reset button bow.
Right.
By the end of the episode.
And again, canon. I mean,
Yep.
that kind of thing happens in the comics as well.
Yeah.
So again, it was just, that's what I loved about it.
And I like the way that Black Lightning Jefferson Pierce is being written, because he's being written as a very inspirational character in and out of the costume.
Right.
Like as a principal, as a person, he inspires his students.
Almost more as a person.
Right.
Just looked up to.
Right. Respected.
Yeah, in his community.
Right. As almost like an unofficial community leader.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and even Law.
Yeah.
He came into the school and he was gonna make sure his cousin towed the line and everything, but also, he wasn't gonna put up with anything that Jefferson was saying either. Hey, don't disrespect the 100s either, though.
Right.
So he's respected to a point even by the gang members, as long as he doesn't step on their turf.
Exactly. Or put somebody's nose out of joint.
Right.
Yeah. As we find out in episode 2.
Right. Which he did.
He did. Yeah.
Yeah, and then there's that thing where, hey, the cops don't even recognize him, even though they know his name, but he's black. So he falls into that everyone's black, everyone's a criminal.
That was thing. I would think that the only thing that it gets close to being a little preachy is like maybe when they point out that that okay, Black Lightning, being a black superhero, he's considered a vigilante, while the others are considered heroes.
Yeah, but some of the other superheroes are also vigilantes.
I understand.
So,
so Arrow is considered a vigilante in Star City.
Right.
So I kind of thought that they was kind of Salim Akil was kind of pushing that a little hard because, well, they call them vigilantes on Arrow.
Right. I'm thinking that he said that.
I get why he was doing it.
Right.
But it just seemed a little like you were trying to beat it a little
maybe
hard.
In the show he's saying it to make a point. Like, hey, I feel like you are a vigilante because you're black. But the world doesn't see it like that, maybe.
Well, no.
The world sees other...
Well, it's just kind of like when you use the word thug.
Right.
Which is essentially code.
Yeah. And it makes people uncomfortable.
Right. So I get why he was doing it, but...
Of course.
But it did seem a little like, well, hey, you've got other shows on CW that call them vigilantes. So
I know.
It didn't quite work as well as it should have.
Yeah.
I get why he's doing it, though. Now, we do also get the introduction of Peter Gamby, who's essentially serving as Alfred to Black Lightning's Batman.
Right.
But he's also taken from the comics. And interestingly, if you're an old school Flash fan like myself, you know that Peter Gamby is the brother of Paul Gamby, who was the tailor in Central City in the Flash that gives the Rogues their costumes.
Right.
So that would seems to me that if they introduce Paul Gamby, that could be a way to link the Flash to Black Lightning. To Black Lightning. Like a very
unofficially
tenuous, or not like. But it'd be a way to okay, if we ever need to bring Black Lightning to Central City or vice versa, that would could be a potential story.
Sure.
Way to do it.
And did you notice J. Kirby Street?
I did.
I was very happy to see that.
Yeah, that was nice. And then we had Marvin Crondon Jones playing Tobias Whale, who is an albino black supervillain in the comics, and they found an albino black actor to play him.
I know.
That's respect.
Keeping it real.
And he's good, and he looks like Tobias Whale. How funny is that?
I am telling you.
It was like the best casting they probably could have come up with.
I know. That guy walked in to the casting director's office, and they were like, done.
It's like, we need an albino African-American.
And they looked up
Sold.
from their desk, and they were like, done.
That's it. Perfect.
You're hired.
You're
Can you
hired.
act? Yes. Okay.
Excellent. They're probably fist pumping. Yes.
I love how true to everything this is.
Yeah.
This show makes me happy.
If obviously some of the CW shows have understandable causes for concern. So when this project came out and you saw the trailer, if you were kind of like, I don't know about this.
Yeah.
It beats your expectations.
Oh, it was so good.
So check it out.
So good. Yeah.
All right. Like Father, Like Daughter, we should talk about.
Sure.
Okay. So we get the cliffhanger at the very end where Anissa, the oldest daughter, she wakes up from a nightmare and she goes to the bathroom and she's hovering over her sink. Her hands start glowing.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, kind of like her dad's. And she crushes the sink. Like all Jessica Jones.
Yeah.
Remember
Jessica Jonesy. Yep,
yep,
exactly.
And
so she did crack that sink, didn't she?
She cracked it just like Jessica did.
Yep.
These like female superheroes are so hard on their bathrooms.
They are. Well, we do spend a lot of time in there.
True. I'm glad you said that and I didn't, because that would be a very sexist joke coming from me.
It would be. All
right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought that was. I immediately thought of the Jessica Jones when I saw that. I was just like,
that's a good
I wonder if that was a deliberate nod, but it works.
It could have been.
Yeah. And then we also have like this great chemistry between Jefferson and Lynn.
His ex, yeah.
It's hot.
Now, mind you, the reason they broke up is because he was Black Lightning, right?
And she couldn't deal with it.
Right. And then he stopped being Black Lightning.
Right.
And he kind of wanted to reconcile, but now he's going to be Black Lightning again. So
yeah, and then that obviously comes to a head pretty quickly, because we found out watching episode 2, spoilers, that Lynn's not quite down with this.
No,
it's obviously
because
been an issue. It's like, well, if I want to be with Lynn, I have to stop being Black Lightning, but I have to be Black Lightning to save everybody.
Right. And he saved his daughters being Black Lightning. So, I mean, that's a big deal.
Yeah, that was the thing that happens that he goes to this club, Club 100.
Mm-hmm.
And
which is the gang name, by the way. We never mentioned that.
Yeah, the 100, yeah. And that is also from the comics, by the way.
Right.
And so he drags his daughters. I guess Jennifer skips out to go to this club instead of a house party that she told her sister she was going to. And so she's in the club and she's smoking the marijuana.
Yeah.
And, like reefer madness. And she hooks up with this guy and ends up getting stuffed into a booth and cornered by some shady guys.
Yeah. Really scary.
And she's not quite sure what to do. So, and then of course, Jefferson finds out about it, puts on the suit, goes to get his daughter out of there.
Yep. And ends up
busts up the club.
Doing some bad stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Almost gets arrested by the cops who want to tase him. But the cops are like, apparently racist.
Oh, yeah. Through the whole episode.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that was a big thing that they definitely played up the racist, the issues that a lot of African Americans face with the police. Just being like, presume that just because they happen to be driving by in a car and they're black and they're accused of a crime, even though there is no absolute reason why they should be accused of this crime.
Right.
And that happens on all the time.
And apparently it does happen all the time. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, I can't speak from personal experience being white, but knowing people, yes, this stuff happens.
Yeah.
Sadly.
And seeing it in the news all the time. I mean, and knowing the news, it has to be happening more than that, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So it just hurts me.
Yeah. But here is at least, it's a show that's at least trying to give you a little hope for this a little bit.
It makes me have a lot of hope.
Yeah.
And I love seeing his two daughters on the show. I'm hoping it gives them a voice as well.
Right.
So we get not only black empowerment, but a bit of female empowerment and black female empowerment.
Yep.
I mean, can we have all three of those? That would be wonderful.
Yeah, that would be nice. So I think that, and I think we're already starting to see some signs of this. So I'm hoping that maybe, like, if, this show takes off, and maybe it'll inspire some people along the way.
Let's hope so.
So that would be nice, wouldn't it?
It would be.
How about that?
We could use more of that in our world.
Inspirational superhero shows. There's an idea.
Yeah. Can we please do that? Let's have 10 more of these shows.
There's a wacky idea.
Yeah.
Let's try to do something hopeful. Yeah.
So,
all right.
Are we good there?
I think we're good. So, anything else you want to talk about before we move on?
No, just I loved it so much.
Yeah, it was such a very strong opening. So, credit to Salim Akil for this. So, well done. What's your rating?
I give it 9 corrupt cops.
Yeah, they were pretty shady, weren't they?
Yeah, they were.
I gave it 9 as well. We're in sync. 9 broken bathroom sinks.
You liked that?
I did. I thought, just Jessica Jones, it made me think. So I liked it. All right. Okay, moving on. Arrow 610 Divided.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little step down here.
A bit of a step back. Yes. It's the comparisons, like the flaws in shows like Arrow. After watching Black Lightning, really shine through, don't they?
They really do. They really do.
And then, it's I know Arrow has its audience, and that's cool. I get it.
Sure.
But I've watched the show regularly too. But,
and it's been better this season too.
It has been better, thankfully, than it was last season.
But
it's
not so much this episode.
But Black Lightning, it keeps raising the bar.
Mm-hmm.
And Arrow needs to climb up the salmon ladder to reach that bar.
Yes. I haven't seen much use of that salmon ladder.
I have not either.
Yeah.
It's all right. Written by Ben Sokolowski and Emilio Ortega Aldrich, directed by James Banford.
Okay.
So, action.
A story. No I in team, but there should be a leader.
Yep.
B story. Mob mentality.
Yep.
C story. Suspect motivations, and that is about their little band of merry bad men. I want to know what their motivations are. That's my little question there.
Okay.
And then the other C story is Right Hand Man, which is, of course, Diggle.
Yeah. Okay, so no,
can I just ask you, why are they all together? What is in it for them to band together?
Oh, you mean the villains? Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't know yet.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying.
I know we haven't been given nothing in the way of motivation for why these characters should hang out together.
Right. There's no hint at all.
Instead of why they don't just go after each other, or there's rivalries, or what have you.
Right. They're just sticking with him.
I think the only motivation we've been given is they all hate Green Arrow.
Right. But again, they're bad guys.
So they're essentially like the Green Arrow Revenge Squad.
Right. But again, they're bad guys. So you would think as soon as they find out the dirt on Green Arrow, they would just...
Yeah.
Right?
Right. I would think so.
So why are they not hinting at whatever he has in his pocket?
We don't know what Caden James, the guy who's assembled these guys, his end game. Hopefully he's got one.
And let me say, at 10 episodes in, we should know that, right?
One would think.
Or at least have a hint.
Yeah. like some kind of like, okay, what are you trying to achieve with this team here?
Right. And
apart
what
from
is
just
his?
Yeah.
What is his motivation? He has something against him,
Yeah,
right?
well, we don't know a lot about Caden James, really.
Right. He has something seriously against Oliver.
Yeah. But we've given no indication of it.
No. And 10 episodes in, I want to know what that is.
They should have
at least a hint.
At least tease it.
Right.
At least
Nothing.
give us a glimmer of something to like why he's doing these characters are doing what they're doing. There's no, like you said, there's no motivation.
No. They're cartoony bad men right now.
Yeah, they're just
and
like,
I don't get it.
They're just like, okay, Green Arrow bad, team up. Let's team up to get Green Arrow.
Right.
Which is a very like little kid way of viewing storytelling.
And it just really struck me in this episode because they're actually laying out. I mean, Oliver said, here's who's on his team. And I'm like, okay, why are they together though?
Yeah.
They don't even make sense together.
Yeah, it is weird.
Okay. And then right-hand man, let's get that out of the way. Diggle's little chip wasn't working, and then he got it working.
Yeah. Basically, Curtis kept tinkering with the chip. Like it would work, then it wouldn't work, and then Curtis, right when he's ready to tip out the door at the end of the episode, says, "Okay, here, I think I fixed it.
Mm-hmm.
Go with it."
And he did.
And he did.
Yeah.
And so, like, Felicity gives him a gun, and he's all.
And he's got a super hand.
And I got super hand. I'm dead.
He's got the G.I. Joe with the real life hair and
he's
grip.
got the kung fu
grip.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. Exactly.
There you go.
So.
All right. So no Iron team, but there should be a leader. Now, divided. Can I just say, I know I'm taking the lead here, but Go ahead. I have real issues with this episode.
All right.
So I want to bring them up here.
Okay, please do.
His team members.
You listen to me rant about the Flash, so go right.
Yeah, okay. His team members here, and this is Curtis.
Yep.
And
Renee.
Dinah. And Ray. Renee. Thank you. Okay, the three of them. They're still pissed off that he suspected them first.
Yes.
Of that shadiness instead of the people he's
right, and that he was spying on them. Yes.
He's known and trusted for the last 5 years. Okay.
Well, to be fair, they brought up the trust issues, and he said, "Okay, like I understand you. I'm going to be very open with you from now on," and then suspects them.
Okay.
After Renee threw him under the bus.
Right.
Right.
And Dinah has shown signs of going behind his back to her old partner.
So he's justified in being suspicious.
Correct.
But they're being pissy about it.
Okay. So this is my whole point is
yes.
Not only has he been through the wars with Felicity and Diggle.
Yeah. My original crew.
And Thea and all that.
Yes.
So why would he spy on them? Of course he has a different set of standards for them than he has with the new guys.
Yes.
Right? I mean, that's a no-brainer.
Right. I don't know you as well as I know them, but...
Right. But they have given him no cause to trust them as much.
Well, I think if anybody Curtis has a reason to be upset, because I don't think Curtis had done anything.
Right.
But I think Curtis is just feeling bad for Renee, and because they've kind of become like, okay, we're the B team.
Okay, but they are the B team.
I understand that.
No offense to them.
Yes.
And Curtis should be the first one to realize that he is the B team. He can't even do the salmon ladder.
Yes.
He's the one who admits, I'm not as good as y'all.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
Okay.
Even though he's Mr. Terrific.
Yeah, okay. But I'm just he's always talking about that he's not quite as good as Felicity at all the computer stuff, and he's not as strong as Diggle.
It would be nice if, like, at this point, like, because Curtis seems to be kind of taking a lead here for once.
Yes.
So maybe this would be a good way to kind of develop his character finally into the confident Mr. Terrific that we get from the comics.
Sure, that would be great.
But I am all for that.
I'm saying in this instance, I'm all for that too. In this instance, they're being whiny little babies.
Yeah.
And really, Oliver should be the team leader.
Right.
And they should all get together because it makes no sense for them to be at odds.
Yes.
Against the bad guys.
It's Team Arrow, not Team Terrific.
Right. Because Team Terrific is not terrific.
Yeah.
Comparatively. Oliver has so much more experience than they do.
Right.
And they have none, and they really do need his help, right?
Well, maybe this is what we'll get to eventually, is that they'll think they're good enough to act on their own. They'll get themselves into trouble. Oliver has to bail them out. Go back to square one.
And this is why Arrow bothers me.
Yeah. It's kind of a cycle, isn't it? It goes
It is.
Wash, rinse, repeat.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because, and someone's back, right?
Right. Now, that's true. We do get the return of a certain Thea Queen, fresh from her coma.
Hi, I'm back.
Yay! Welcome back, Thea.
I don't want to be a superhero, though.
Why not?
Because I don't feel like it.
You just kind of like all of a sudden quit for no reason.
Yeah, I don't want to. Even though I could probably help you, like, save the city and my nephew and all that.
So what are you going to do?
I could probably really do that.
So what are you going to do if you're not going to be a superhero, Thea?
I'm going to scrapbook. Well, that's what she did, isn't it?
I don't know. Well, I was thinking
she
more.
She gave pictures.
Yeah, that's true. She did give him a photo album. Yeah.
Right. I'm going to go scrapbooking.
Are you going to go buy some glitter?
Yeah, and glue and ribbons and stickers.
Some colored markers.
Yeah, and I have a table.
Do you have like a craft room?
No, I get one though, because I'm rich with my daddy's money.
Which daddy was that again? Oh,
my daddy who killed himself for me on the island. So I lost him again, you guys.
That's hilarious.
Sorry. I lost all my daddies.
I was say, you lost more than one dad.
I did. I lost my first dad, and then he wasn't really my dad, and then I hated my dad, and then he came back and he got me, and I didn't hate him again, and then I hated him again, and then I didn't hate him, and then he killed himself for me.
Is this why you're hanging out with Quentin, because you're looking for a new dad?
He's like my dad. I have to admit, he's like my dad. So I gave him hope that maybe he could get his daughter back. Maybe. So I gave him a photo album. I made him a scrapbook.
Which I'm sure he loves.
I hope so. Because like I'll do anything to not fight. Nice. Even though I'm really good at it. And I've been trained for a long time.
And I have this costume and everything.
Yeah. I could, but I just don't feel like it.
Not today. Maybe tomorrow.
I just got my nails done.
You just had a mani-pedi?
I did. And my cell phone is new. I don't want to run out of data. Okay. I'm done. Thank you.
And scene.
And scene.
Yay.
Thank you.
Welcome back.
All right.
That was epic.
Did you like my scrapbook?
I loved that. That was adorable.
Thank you.
Phil Parrish, I hope you were listening. That's for you, buddy.
Oh, and Ken from Chicago also likes it.
Ken for
sure. So hi, Ken from Chicago.
Hi, Ken from Chicago. All right. Okay, so man, my face hurts from smiling.
You missed Thea, huh?
I did miss Thea. I missed Thea a lot. All right.
Good.
All right. So where were we? Mom mentality.
Yeah, mob mentality. Of course, this is we're seeing a new Huntress relative.
Yeah, the Bertinellis, because hey, they can always turn up a new Bertinelli every so often.
Sure, why not?
And I love the fact that Oliver's just actually does take the time to go like, Helena, remember her?
Right.
Oh, she's busy doing stuff.
Right. Oh, well, she's got an uncle.
Yeah.
Let's go see him.
Yeah, exactly. So Oliver meets up with Bertinelli by the docks. Oliver agrees to work with Bertinelli, but only if the crime boss does what he says.
Right. But, as all crime bosses do.
Yeah. And guess what? It's a trap.
It's a trap.
It's a trap. Because Bertinelli set up this whole big thing that with Team Caden. I don't know what else to call these guys. They don't really have a group name, do they?
I don't know.
Doesn't even matter.
No.
Okay. So basically, but the whole thing was just to set up Green Arrow so they get Green Arrow to show up in a spot and they could attack him.
Right.
Yeah. So Oliver fights Vigilante, yada yada. Caden stops Bertinelli, who gets killed by Richard Dragon.
Mm-hmm.
And then I guess Oliver distracts and gets away from Vigilante.
Right.
Okay. So.
And then there's this weird scene at the end where the bad guys are talking and there's still no motivation.
Right.
Whatsoever.
Right.
There's just tense.
Yeah.
Gun polishing and.
Yeah, so basically Caden confronts Vigilante about his relationship with Dinah.
Right.
And Vigilante's like, it's cool, man. I'll take care of it. It's all good.
Right. That's pretty much it.
That's pretty much it.
Right.
Yeah.
Again, we learned nothing.
And Curtis, no, Curtis does take Renee and Dinah to his new spiffy headquarters,
right?
Which is Helix's old headquarters,
right?
Because hey, we built the set, we might as well use it again.
But that makes no sense because how would he have access to Helix's old?
He hacked it.
Wouldn't that be Caden's old place? Wasn't he in charge of Helix?
I don't know. You would think.
Okay. Yeah. Whatever. Anyway, hand wave.
And Justine is going to be very unhappy with us this week, I think.
Why?
Because we're criticizing all our shows.
Well, not all of them.
No, not all of them.
And we're going to end on an up note here.
Okay, that's true. All right. So anything else about Arrow before we move on?
No. Please, no.
Please, no. No more. No
please,
more
no.
Arrow.
Please,
no Moss.
No. Come on. No.
All right.
Okay, no.
What's your rating?
7.5 messages sent. Okay, and I also want to... Can I just say?
Yes.
Caden says, What is that you say? Send a message? Like he doesn't know what send a message means. He says, I believe you can do with the corpse. What is it you say? Send a message? What?
I think
everyone knows what send a message means.
Maybe he's just trying to be dramatic.
I guess, but it's stupid sounding.
It was bad dialogue. Let's just put it
that
way.
7.5 messages sent.
Okay, I got it. I give it 8 hand implants for obvious reasons. But
you gave it too high of a grade, sir.
Yeah, probably.
You liked the scrapbook, did you?
Yeah. Well, it was nice to see Thea again.
Yeah, all right. You gave it an 8, anticipating my Thea return. Is that it?
Probably.
Let's pretend.
Let's go with that. That sounds good. Let's run with that theory.
Okay. Okay.
You miss me.
I so miss you. You have no idea.
I hope everybody missed us. Okay, so last show, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. 508, The Last Day. Very appropriate. Mm-hmm. Written by James C. Oliver and Charla Oliver, excuse me. Directed by Nina Lopez Corrado. Yeah, you got to roll those R's.
Corrado. Okay. A story. Go away, kid. You bother me.
Okay. That's got to be a Robin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
B story. In like Flint.
Nice. Respect for the old Steve, that James Coburn classic.
James Coburn. I have them both actually on DVD.
I actually
In Like Flynn.
I have In Like Flint bookmarked on Netflix.
Do you?
Yeah.
So good.
I haven't watched it yet, but I've seen parts of it over the years. I just need to sit down and watch it.
They're so good.
Yeah.
And then Sea Story Hunting Deke's Father, which I will explain.
Okay, good.
Mother May She, and Sinara Ra Ra. Someone is eager.
Okay.
And there was something I was gonna say about. I want to give some respect, first of all, to this episode for the name of this episode, The Last Day.
Yeah.
Now, we go into this episode thinking, because of the preview, that it means like the last day. It's going to explain what happened the last day.
But when Earth went kablooey.
Right.
Yeah.
And they do kind of give us a little more on that.
But that's not the main focus.
The main focus, of course, is it's Robin's last day.
Yeah.
And I love that. And it also had some other meanings in the episode as well. But I love that they layered this episode with many different meanings of the last day.
Yeah. If you were a Doctor Who fan like myself and you probably appreciated the big timey-wiminess of the story.
So good. So many timelines, so many flashbacks and flash forwards but
you got to see the sense, and I really like the way the script was structured, is that you saw how interwoven the time periods were through Robin. And Robin is this character, kind of an obscure character that was introduced over the past couple seasons. Turns up every so often. But
is now a linchpin in this
apparently is
season.
Now a very fundamental character because of she's an old woman in this future setting where the agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. currently are, and it's her as a child that basically we find out through the course of this story that her ability of seeing the future goes both ways. And so that because of being older, she knows what's going to happen, but her younger self has that temporal connection to her older self. And so they can kind of plan simultaneously across the years.
Right.
Of how to solve this problem.
Right. So not only did she see what was going to happen, but she could talk.
Stephen Moffat would love
to
this
herself.
Script if you're a Doctor Who fan.
It was so good. Yeah. And there were so many different ramifications of her timey-wiminess.
Yes. There's no better word for it. Really.
There really isn't. I mean, the fact that they made that up on Doctor Who and it just works for everything.
It does, doesn't it?
It's so great. But I loved the whole concept of this episode. It was one of my favorite Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. episodes ever. So great. But we can dive in now. Anyway.
That's fine. So Go Away Kid, You Bother Me. We get the backstory with Robin. She's a child in the Zephyr 1 while Simmons and the other agents are reacting to some kind of natural disaster causing gravity storms. And she keeps saying that there's something else she needs to remember. And, she's going through this. She's making drawings for Agent May and all this. And she's trying to get everybody's attention and kind of trying to get them to prepare for what's coming up.
Right. And everyone is getting tired of
they don't know, and they don't understand her.
Right. Stop it. Stop telling us the world's going to end. We don't want to hear it anymore.
They think she's just talking nonsense when in fact she's just having conversations across timelines.
Right. And one of the things that hit me about halfway through this episode with the whole May thing is that, they have also carried this other thread through the entire course of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is this whole May having to let the child die in Kandahar.
Right.
And I'm thinking that this is kind of her retribution taking care of Robin. So I'm thinking, part of this mothering instinct is that, this is me making up for all that. It's taking care of Robin. So this bond that she has and being so protective and listening. So part of her listening and paying attention to everything that Robin says is having to do with the fact that this past experience shaped her. So, I mean, how much of that is part of all of this whole thing, that Robin picked her to be the one that she sticks by, that she knows this is the person who's going to listen to her. Yeah, because I
don't think she understands that at first and then comes to eventually understand.
Right.
Yeah. And then...
So, she just has to go to May. May actually figures out,
right.
I'm going to have to take care of her. And then, hey, this is something important. And it all, of course, comes to a head at the end when May gets the puzzle piece, that on the deathbed that fits everything together. At least, that's where we're,
And ultimately this all leads to this big final revelation that when that Robin ends up she gets shot, or how's she
stabbed? Yeah.
Okay. She gets stabbed, and then
so the whole thing is that the whole band comes together finally on Earth,
right?
Which everyone thinks is uninhabitable, but it's not. There's this team that's made up of like Zeke and Deke's little band of merrymen. So they're all there on Earth, and they have been waiting for the S.H.I.E.L.D. guys to get there, as the prophecy has foretold.
Right.
Robin is there with them.
It's all this big predestined moment.
Right. And Fitz's device is there, and it's all meant to be at this point.
Right.
And it looks like these guys are there to help him. They're all setting things up, but they realize that if Daisy is the one who makes the Earth break apart, then guess what?
Yeah, we take care of Daisy. We take out Daisy, Earth is saved.
None of this has happened.
Yeah.
But of course, that's not how it works.
Right.
So instead of killing Daisy, and Robin knows this.
Well, Daisy fights back.
Right.
And then this guy named Voss stabs Robin instead.
Right. And Robin knows that, right?
Right.
And that's why she's there. And that's why it's the last day.
Yeah. She keeps talking like, the last day is coming, like it's this big ominous foretelling.
Right.
And really she's talking about like, oh, this is her last day. Yeah.
Right. Which is so poignant and
powerful.
Right. Very powerful. And that's what made it
it makes the whole episode click.
Amazing. Yeah. Yeah. And of course it does have that double meaning of we're learning more about the last day.
Right.
The world breaker day as well.
Yeah.
So there's that too. And May, of course, rushes to her side, even though she doesn't remember taking care of Robin because she was taken from Earth before all these things happen, which is timey-wimey in of itself.
Mm-hmm.
If none of that stuff happened, then none of it happened.
Exactly.
But,
it's all a big bootstrap paradox.
Right, exactly. But they do apparently have like a phantom bond.
Yeah.
Robin still feels it 100%, but May has a tiny bond at least back to her. And she sits by her side. And there's all these drawings that are, coming. They're actually making sense. Right?
Right.
with what's happening.
Yeah, and she tells May that she's now seen them saving the world.
Mm-hmm.
And then she tells May what she needs to know. Whispers, of course.
Right. So we don't know yet.
We don't know that yet. Yeah, we don't know that yet. But then she goes, and she's dead.
Yeah, right. Yeah. But May knows.
Yes, May knows.
Right. Now we also get in this time period, and of course Voss and whatever, he's dead. Yeah. But Deke is still alive, and there's a big deal about his father. Can I just mention right here?
Yeah.
Hunter's been back this season. His father has been mentioned conspicuously without a name.
I think you're right.
Who does he look like?
Yeah, he does. I think you're right. So you think he's like Mockingbird and Hunter's kid?
I do think he is. Right?
That's certainly possible.
Doesn't that make sense?
At least Hunter's kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he's their kid.
Probably.
So anyway, that's just my thought. But anyway.
Deke, though. That's a horrible name.
Come on.
You can do better.
He's English. Come on.
You can do better. All right.
So anyway, I just think it's funny that they mention your dad, but they don't say his name or anything.
I think you're absolutely right. I think you're totally
He's got to be someone, right?
Has to be.
And they made a big deal out of he's such a good guy. And yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so and of course he's back this season for that one episode. So foreshadowing. Okay, so then of course we get the lovey-dovey scene with Fitzsimmons.
Yep.
And Fitz is very angry because every time he's seen the future, Simmons is dead.
Yep.
And he sees his little machine. And
he's kind of he gets all angry with Robin and stuff. He's just why am I building this? Because there's this big prophecy that he needs to build this time machine, and he's I don't even know if I'm going to be able to complete this. And the implication is that, no, you're not going to complete it, but you're going to hope that somebody else finishes it.
Right. Or when you go to the future.
Yeah.
When you freeze yourself into the future, you will complete it.
Right. Something like that. So,
it's for them to go back to the past, I'm guessing.
Yeah. It's their way home.
Right.
Yes.
I'm guessing. Yeah.
Presumably
so. There's that. And, so is Deke going to go back to the past with them?
That could be kind of awkward if he does.
Or will he just disappear?
I'm kind of hoping he dies, personally. I don't like him.
You don't like him?
I don't like him. He's annoying.
Even if he turns out to be Hunter's kid?
Especially if he turns out to be Hunter's kid.
You're mean.
Yeah, I know.
You're mean.
Yes, I am.
Okay, so there's all that stuff. And then there's Flint.
Yes, yeah, in Flint. So Flint is I guess what is it here? He ends up getting paired with Mac and Yo-Yo to explore. They find, I guess has some doubts about humans, and they end up finding a Cree on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see what else about Flint. That I guess Robin at some point tells Mac that Mac's going to help Flint.
Mm-hmm.
But so apparently Flint is very important.
They save all his people.
Right.
By clearing out a floor and killing all the bugs.
That's right. The Vralnexians.
Right. And then they take out all of the little devices.
That's true. Yeah, the little implant things.
Yep. So they're the heroes. And, of course, Shotgun Axe.
Shotgun Axe. Never gets old.
Which I love.
Yes.
And I do have to mention also that Mac was not alive in the little flash backwards.
Ooh, that's true.
So
that's true.
Let's hope that does not. And Coulson wasn't there either.
Yeah, maybe this whole timeline will get wiped out and it will never have happened.
I'm guessing.
That would be ideal, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but again, Whedon.
Yeah, that's true. A Whedon. So
They're always playing fast and loose with Mac, aren't they?
yeah, they are. Well, I think they expect everybody to kill him off, or they know that they expect fans to think that he's going to get killed off, and then play with those expectations.
Right, and then they kill someone else.
They kill somebody. Yeah, well,
that's way more important.
That's a Whedon move. Joss Whedon. That's a Joss Whedon move. Is to have you focus on the character you think is going to die, then kill somebody else completely unexpectedly out of the blue.
Right.
Suddenly
and then kill Simmons.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah, Coulson, something like
that.
Right.
Exactly.
Something like that.
Yeah. So
somebody you really like too.
Yeah, you really like.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just worried that Fitz and Simmons are never going to have a happy ending.
Yeah.
And I really want them to have a happy ending this time.
It seems like increasingly unlikely because every time these two crazy kids try to get together, they deliberately screw that up.
I know. Can we just
mess with the fans?
Just leave them alone this time.
For like a season at least.
Please let them get married.
Yeah.
God forbid.
Yeah.
Okay, and then Sinara.
Yeah.
Casillas.
Yeah, Casillas. You're right. I forgot to pronounce it.
Send Sinara off to get her.
Yeah.
Who is her? Is it May? Is it Daisy? Is it? I mean, I don't know who the her is.
Daisy.
Is it Daisy? Well, she doesn't like May either.
Yeah, it's supposed to be Daisy. That she's.
Yeah. So
because Sinara volunteers actually to go after Daisy.
Well, he says, "Do you want to go after her?" And she nods. She just said, "Yes."
Well, she needs something to do because she doesn't do anything else until the end of the episode.
Right.
When she shows up on the surface looking for everybody.
Right.
Tracking him down. So,
yeah. And Casillas is all broody and upset that his plans are going awry.
Yep.
Daddy will never be proud of me.
He's never been happy since he got that little scar to mess up that perfect face.
Nope.
Yeah. All right. Anything else about this episode?
No, I just have to say brilliant writing on this episode. Brilliant.
Yeah, it was very good. And, I've been a little it took me a while to kind of get into the season. Things picked up while we were off when Fitz got back. Or got to the future and got with everybody. And then everything started to come together a little bit.
You were not in love with this when the season
I wasn't.
started.
I wasn't.
You were very upset.
I kept with it though. I didn't give up on it. And it picked up when Fitz got there, and I really enjoyed this episode. So I gave it 8.5 timey-wimey drawings.
Excellent.
So I really like this one.
I gave it 9 lost flashbacks, and I don't mean lost flashbacks. I mean it reminded me of the show Lost.
Yeah.
Flashbacks.
If we could get more of these kind of episodes, I would love to see that.
Yeah, me too.
So more of that.
This was so good. Yeah. Really. I think one of my favorite episodes. This I give it a 9, so I rank it up there with Black Lightning.
Yeah. So which one was your favorite this week? Black Lightning or Agents?
Black Lightning.
Black Lightning. Just because it was new
If I had to pick one thing to rewatch, I'd pick Black Lightning. And then I might watch Agents afterwards.
Second. Okay, that's a close second.
And then the rest of them
yeah.
I don't have
whenever.
The Gifted I might binge watch.
Yeah, there you go.
I watched the whole season though, maybe.
Yeah, gotcha.
Not just these last 2 episodes.
All right.
Okay.
So let's move on to we actually have some new feedback from Justina. Welcome back, Justina.
It's long.
We missed you. All
so
right.
Sit back and relax.
Okay.
Let's listen.
She's had a lot of weeks to build it up.
You really did sit back.
I did.
Everyone. Just so you know, he really did sit back. All right. Let's listen.
You told me to.
I know.
Hi, Karen and Charles. Happy New Year! Superheroes are back, and so am I. Let's start with Supergirl. Spoiler alert, I loved this episode. So I was super concerned with Ruby because we left her alone with the supervillain, and CW did a wonderful job faking us out, where it looked like Ruby was running from Rain, and then we find out that Sam has reemerged, and really they're just having a water gun fight. That was a fantastic fake out. But I do think that the picture frame breaking may serve as a foreshadowing of Rain breaking his family apart. Rain is being a vigilante throughout National City, punishing wrongdoers and other people because he says apathy is the greatest sin. Kara is in a coma and has been for 2 days. Inside her mind, we meet this new character, Brainiac 5, who's been sent by Mon-El in her consciousness to make sure that she is okay. Her consciousness is represented by Kara in her loft. She realizes that though she let Brainiac in, she is not able to open the door and go out. Her heat vision doesn't work, brute force doesn't work. The team tries to take down Rain without Supergirl, and though the kryptonite seems to affect her, it's not enough to take her down. Rain breaks Alex's leg. Ow! And we finally get to learn why Mon-El did not come to Supergirl's aid in her original fight with Rain. Mon-El and his wife both have encoded in their DNA something that will save the world from an extinction level event in 2455. So they are committed to not getting involved in fights so that they can save the world later. However, Mon-El's wife says they are going to fight because what Mon-El taught her about Bon Jovi, Tommy and Gina never backed down. Which leads to a fantastic musical interlude with one of my favorite songs ever, and a great battle. I really like the message in this episode that brute strength was not going to bust Supergirl out, that she calm down and think and remember both sides of herself. It's actually as she reconnects to the Kara Danvers side of herself that her glasses appear, picks them up, and then a key appears, and she is able to join the fight just in time to give Rain jugular full of kryptonite and put her down. Unfortunately, temporarily, because back in Rain's fortress, we learn that there is more world killers. Dun dun dun! Supergirl gets 9 out of 10 strays on this planet. Now moving on to the Flash. Barry knows he's completely doomed because he's a police forensic specialist, so he knows that even though he's an innocent man, that the forensic evidence is very incriminating because his fingerprints are on the murder weapon, because it was one of his wedding gifts, his DNA is on DeVoe's body, of course he had that epic battle with him as the Thinker, so now it just looks like Barry attacked a poor, defenseless man in a wheelchair. It's terrible for Barry, but he doesn't want to give away his secret identity. He says that he does. All of his family and friends will have targets on their back. Joe almost crosses the line between evidence in Marley's house, but at the last moment decides to do the right thing. In the middle of all this trial, a new medic in town named Fallout, who is emitting nuclear radiation, causing him to pass out. Everywhere he goes, his power is growing intensity, which could cause a nuclear explosion, take down Good Lord, so many superhero cities. The first thing I think of is freeze him out. They want Killer Frost to work. There's an adorable where they're telling Caitlin to think about the puppies in the trees. Everything's going to die if Killer Frost doesn't work. Killer Frost does emerge, but cannot take down Fallout. Barry's in the middle of his court date when he gets the Metahuman text message and asks to leave, which I'm sure did not help us at all. He creates a vacuum around Fallout, and Cisco portals the energy of Earth 15, which welds the dead Earth. I always love how in Flash about the various Earth. Barry is sentenced to life in prison as Captain Singh gives the Flash award for valor, which I thought were really to layer on top of each other. And now both Henry Allen and Barry Allen have been crime. They did, and Barry is in prison. Heights put in Flash gets 9 intimidating carpet. The Gifted had its finale this week, and it is fantastic. I'm a little bit worried that the mutants have hurt themselves by deciding to split because the humans are already against them. They're not going to do very well split against each other. And the Struckers are split. Andy has decided to go with Lorna's group, but I bet he will continue to try to convince his sister to come over because Andy's powerful by himself, but with Lauren, he's practically unstoppable. Lorna's super strong with that baby inside of her. Now she's on the opposite side of Marcos, and I highly doubt that Marcos is going to want to go up against Lorna. Lorna is carrying his child, so this is a very interesting place to leave it as the battle lines are drawn, and we wait for a season 2. The Gifted gets 10 out of 10 bent bed frame. I didn't get to watch Arrow, and I've talked long enough, so have a super week.
You too.
Thank you, Justina. Wow, we should have made that part 3.
Right? That was a nice
I think she was saving all that up from all their weeks off.
I think so too. She was very excited. I was very excited to hear from her.
I was excited as well.
She and I have kept in touch through the whole moving process, which really brightened my days.
Well, how can it not?
I know. She's been asking about kitties the whole
Aw.
time. My kitties have been crazy, and she understands about that. And of course, she has made me feel better. So that is definitely a big plus.
Our favorite
in
butterfly.
That's right.
Yep.
That's right.
All right. Thank you, Justina, as always, for chiming in, because we always love hearing from you.
Definitely.
And thanks for being so loyal to the show, as
Of
always.
Of course.
All right. So if you want to be like Justina, or you just want to drop us a line, where would be a good place to do that?
It would be at Fandom Zonecast on the Twitter machine, Facebook.com/Fandom Zone Podcast, or email at fandomzonecast@gmail.com.
All right. And please, if you go on iTunes, please rate us there, or the Apple Podcasts, because we'd love to get some ratings, and helps people find our little show, the Phantom Zone Podcast. Karen, where can they reach you on the interwebs?
They can reach me at Aliveria on the Twitter machine.
Yes.
And also at Allie's_stuff.
Yes.
And in the bio link at both of those pages is a link to my blog, at which you can find all my other links.
Okay.
I'm still rusty, so.
Yeah, I know. It's hard to get back into we've been off for so long. Our rhythm
is
thrown.
Is.
Yeah,
It really is. And I have to admit, there are a couple of updated posts on there. I still have not posted my Goodreads challenge thing for the end of the year.
Slacker.
And it is, I have it sitting on my desktop, November 2017.
No pressure.
So yeah,
You've been busy.
So my blog is sorely, I mean, I have a couple of posts from this year that are, promo posts, and I've done a couple of reviews, but I'm hoping to get back in the swing of things with some more personal stuff. So
excellent.
Keep your eye on the prize.
Everybody go check that out, please. And as for me, I'm at Charles Skaggs on the Twitter machine, at Charles Skaggs on the Instagram. Google Plus for all you crazy kids on the Google Plus. Facebook, of course, at Charles Skaggs. And my blog, Geeky Things.
Damn good coffee and hot.
Damn good coffee and hot. Where I talk about all the comic book shows, and Lord Almighty, there are aplenty here on the Phantom Zone podcast. So any kinds of other comics, sci-fi, news, whatever, stuff about like upcoming shows like Krypton, which we'll be talking about here shortly. Can't wait for that. Looks good. And all that other stuff. So please check that out. And also talk about my other podcasts that I do for the Southgate Media Group, including, list is getting longer, Next Stop Everywhere, the Doctor Who podcast that I do with Jesse Jackson, friend of the show. Ghostwood, the Twin Peaks podcast that I do with Zan Sprouse, wife of comic book artist Chris Sprouse. And the upcoming Titan Talk, the Titans podcast, which I am also doing with Jesse, where we're talking about, the upcoming Titans series from DC's still untitled digital service. But news is starting to trickle out, and we are basically staking our claim and getting ready to record our third episode on that. Now, I guess we're going to be launching the first episode, according to Rob, once we have 3 episodes in the can. So, okay, cool. So that's the plan. So stay tuned. It's almost here. We've been talking about it forever. But we do have a website and stuff, and you can follow us on at Titan Talk Cast on the Twitter machine, or at Titan Talk the Phantom Zone, or Titan Talk Phantom Zone, Titan Talk the Titans podcast. So many podcasts on the Facebook. So.
On the
Facebook, please do. So, please check those out. Otherwise, thanks, everybody, for coming back. I know we've been off for a while, but hope you missed us. We missed you.
Oh, I miss you guys so much. Everybody. I missed everybody.
Yes. So,
and as you know, I've been on social media, so I have been around. But
You've been lurking. You've been lurking.
Now you can listen to my nasty voice again.
No, you can listen to your awesome Thea impression again.
Oh yes, my awesome Thea impression. I have to say, it is a good Thea impression.
Yes, it is. It's.
Thank you.
Che bella, bellissimo.
All right.
Yeah.
So that's it for us.
Yeah, that's it. So come on back for episode 127, where we're going to talk about a lot more comic book shows. Not so much about The Gifted, because that's done for now.
No, but Black Lightning, definitely.
Black Lightning.
That's right.
And
I'm very much looking forward to that.
And other shows as well. So come on back. Lucifer next week. So you got to be back for that.
Yeah, I've already seen that. Excellent.
All right. Talk to you later.
Okay. Bye.
Bye, everybody. Still back.
Wow, yay. Do I have to be back?
Yes, you have to be back.
All right.